being behind home plate is Alberto Ruiz. The crew chief is at first base, John Bostwick. At second base is Guillermo Rodriguez. And at third base, Pete Saucedo.
One, two, three.
Treat all my exes like Jehovah's Witnesses. Free all the dogs and all the witnesses. They sitting down, we standing on business. Hey, standing on business. Standing on business. I'm geeking hard, don't know what to take, don't know what I took. My doggy got booked for acting like book. He shot him in daylight. Like what's in your shoe, we socket. Like what's on your wrist, the comet. Like anyone home, we want it. We close here, we drop it. Like Lenny Kravitz show, we rock it. Like tennis indoors, we squash it. Like combo number one, we whop it. Shot him in, what? Shot him in daylight. Shot him in daylight.
From Earl E. Wilson Stadium on the campus of UNLV, this is another edition of Hustlin' Rebels Baseball. Along with Dan Dolby, Matt Neverett, coming to you on a picture-perfect Saturday for Rebel Baseball. Coming off of a win in the opening game of a three-game series against the Bradley Braves last night. A 9-3 victory pushed the Rebels to 4-1 on the year, winners of 4 in a row, and they'll turn the ball over to Albert Robles this afternoon in front of the hometown crowd. Robles making his second start of the year, his first start here at Earl E. Wilson. Dan, a great win last night, and the Rebels look to continue that offensive momentum here this afternoon.
Yeah, and talking to some of the players after the game last night, although this wasn't the first series for us, it was the first home series, there was some jitters before the game, and they admitted it. They said they didn't feel anything over at Stanford when they beat the number 23 team in the country, but last night they were able to shake that off pretty early, bounce back after falling behind after a couple innings, and ended up the game really well, played well in the field, no errors, solid defensive play, great outing by Cates yesterday, and then solid day at the plate.
Albert Robles on the hill today. First-year transfer player from Riverside City College, a 6-foot-tall, 190-pounder from Southern California. The Moreno Valley native toes the slab today. The Rebels in their home whites with the red accents. Bradley out of the MVC in the red jerseys. Look at the old school look, a la the Bill Veeck Chicago White Sox almost.
They do. I'm not a big fan of that style, but it's obviously working for them.
They pull it off all right. As we get started, Robles getting set to deal to the right-handed batting center fielder, Ryan Vogel. Vogel in the 9-3 Rebel win yesterday. 104 with a base hit in the first inning. He takes a first pitch breaking ball, called for strike one. And we are underway at 105 here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, 66 degrees. Picture perfect as Robles goes out of the full wind. Misses down low on the fastball, and as the count goes 1-1, Dan, what can we expect out of the Southern California product?
Well, Robles had a little bit of a shaky start last week at Pacific. Only went 2, gave up 2 earned runs, but actually walked 5. So got the pretty early yanked.
It's a foul ball straight back from Ryan Vogel, 4 of his first 16 to start the year. Very fast on the base pass for 16th year head coach Elvis Dominguez. The Rebels defensively with Chase Gallegos doing the catching, filling up the battery. Austin Grizik deep at first. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball just downstairs. Good 12-6 movement there from Robles. Count goes even at 2. J.P. Heft making his third straight start at second base. Paul Meyer the fourth at short. Chase Ditmar starting once more at the hot corner. Alex Pimentel, Rylan Charles, Kate Higgins the outfield from left to right. As Vogel swings and misses at strike 3. Vogel fooled by the breaking ball. Robles going back to the well for out number 1.
Robles has a great breaking ball. That's probably the best pitch in his arsenal. He's a three pitch in his repertoire. Decent fastball, going to be right around the 90 to 91 mark, but that breaking ball that he throws right there gets about a 6 to 8 foot break on it. It's pretty horizontal, not lateral.
First strikeout of the game brought to you by Belfort Property Restoration as Tyrese Johnson, the right fielder, skies one to right center field. Rylan Charles in center underneath it for out number 2. Quickly 2 up and 2 away for Robles, who last year at Riverside City College, 2-0 with a 3.91 ERA. And pitched mainly out of the bullpen for the Tigers. In 13 games, just 2 starts. He struck out 24 in 23 innings, though.
Robles is put together. He's 6'1", 220. He's put together.
Got a glimpse of him at the Meet the Team event before the year. Was definitely impressed with his command and the pitch mix. He goes backwards here, firing a first pitch breaking ball in for a strike to Timmy O'Brien. First baseman starting out the year at 429. He was 3 for 4 yesterday. Biggest Bradley offensive contributor in the loss. Curveball down low. The count goes 1 ball and 1 strike. O'Brien, 429 the average. No home runs. 2 RBIs to go along with a couple of doubles. He had 1 of them yesterday. Right on right matchup. Induces a swing and a miss. Or rather a foul ball straight down. And with 2 outs, nobody on in the top of the first. Count goes 1-2.
One of his challenges, Robles, over at Pacific was the ball was up and out of the zone for him. If he continues to pitch like he has the first 3 batters here, keep that ball down low, especially tight inside to these right-handed hitters, I think he's going to have a pretty successful day.
Ground ball to short. There's Paul Myro to scoop it up. He sets the feet, fires low, but Krizik picks it out on a backhand effort at first base for out number 3. 3 up and 3 down. So far, so good for Albert Robles. And the Hustlin' Rebels, they'll come to bat first. Rylan Charles leads things off against Travis Lutz in the bottom of the first. Next. No scores. We enter the bottom of inning number 1 here in the second game of 3 between UNLV and Bradley. Thanks to you that tuned in. UNLV, busy place this time of year. Rebels on the hardwood taking on Colorado State later this afternoon. But for now, the action on the diamond into the bottom of the first inning. 1-2-3, top of the first, spun up by Albert Robles in his first outing here at Early Wilson Stadium. Rebels relying on a pretty similar lineup to yesterday. Rylan Charles leads off in center field. J.P. Heft batting and playing second. Parker Schmidt doing the designated hitting. He is blazing hot to start the year at 5 for 7, including a pinch hit double yesterday. Cade Higgins in right field batting in the cleanup spot with Austin Krisick at first. We saw him make a stellar defensive play to end the top of the inning. He'll bat in the 5-hole with the shortstop. Paul Myro, number 6 in the lineup, number 6 on the card as well. At shortstop, Alex Pimentel, after not being in the starting lineup yesterday, coming in as a pinch hitter and flying out. Back in the lineup, looking for hit number 1. He'll play left field and bat 7th with Chase Ditmar. At third, hitting 8th, Chase Gallegos, doing the catching and batting 9th. 0 for 3 with the walk yesterday. As mentioned, here's Rylan Charles to lead things off. Rebels going up against Travis Lutz today. Lutz, second-year player for Bradley. 6'3", 220-pounder, transfer from Illinois Central College, making his second outing of the campaign. Right on left matchup to get things started as Lutz deals out of the stretch and induces a swing and a miss from Rylan Charles. Dan, off to a slow start this year. He was the only Rebel to get 5 at-bats yesterday. He was hitless in all of them.
Yeah, but he's a kid that just needs to find a little bit of a groove. He's going to bounce back. He's the leader. He's a veteran. Fully expect him to have a really good year for the Rebels.
Travis Lutz spins a breaking ball over the outside. 0-2 count to the Reno native, the only Reno native on the team, and Rylan Charles.
We don't like to bring a bunch of the guys up from up north down here.
Rylan's all right. He takes on 0-2 just off the inside. Lutz thought it was strike 3, but Alberto Ruiz calling balls and strikes behind home plate disagreeing. The crew chief John Bostwick down the first base side. Pete Saucedo beyond third. And behind second base stands Guillermo Rodriguez, our 4-man crew here on a Saturday. Here's the 1-2 to Rylan Charles. He swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. Catcher Delgado down the third base side picks it up and fires a strike to Timmy O'Brien at first. Strikeout 2-3 on the putout. And both Ryan Vogel and Rylan Charles, the leadoff hitters for their respective sides, strike out to start the first. No score, nobody on with 1 out for J.P. Heft.
Heft's been we talked about him last night. He's been a really good addition to the Rebel lineup defensively, but his bat's working really well. Hitting .350 right now coming into this game. In a really good spot here for the Rebels, hitting second.
Right-handed batter takes outside. Second outing of the year for the right-hander Travis Lutz. A week ago today, he took the loss in the second game of the year for the Braves. Went 5 innings, allowed 5 runs, just 3 earned. Although the final score 5-0. Heft lines one through the right side of the infield, past the diving first baseman. Picked up and right by Tyrese Johnson. Heft takes a big turn around the base, but will be content with a 1-out single. J.P. Heft, after driving in a pair with a triple yesterday, singles in his first at-bat on a Saturday.
You know, you look at this kid, and I think we talked a little bit about it last night, that he is put together. Not real tall, but he is absolutely muscular, and the thighs on him, it looks like he's built for a power lifter.
Great approach there, going the other way. 98 miles an hour, the exit velocity off the bat. So he's on first. Parker Schmidt earning a start today. No batting gloves as he settles in tight to the plate from the right. Watches a front door breaking ball that misses high. Schmidt has been absolutely on fire with the bat to start the year.
5 of 7.
All but one of them base hits, but his pinch hit double yesterday was a big one. Quick throw back to first base, sends Heft head first and safely back in. He's 0 for 1 in steal attempts on the year. Rebels really haven't run a lot, just 2 for 5 as a unit.
No, but last night, 7 out of the 10 hits were extra base hits, so not a lot of opportunity to run last night.
How many guys stealing third after a double, huh?
Not in Higgy's offense.
Not in most, as Schmidt takes outside.
I was talking to Higgy before the game about Parker. Where could he play in the field? He's DHing for us today. He says he's probably the best utility player that we have, including catching.
He's even at 1. He gets a piece of this one, but fouls it back on a tapper to the screen to move it 1 and 2. Schmidt at 5'11", $175. Desert Oasis high school product. UNLV his 4th college team.
Correct. I originally started out at University of Oregon. We got him coming from Utah Tech, which we'll play on Tuesday night. But he's been a welcome addition. Brought a little pop to the bat. Real good clubhouse guy.
Austin Krizik likes him because he's the only other guy that doesn't wear the batting gloves. As he gets a piece of another one, fouls it back to the screen.
We've seen that over the years, though, with a number of Rebels. If you go back a few years, I'm trying to think of
Jack Thomas
Jack
Wold.
Thomas Wold.
Yeah,
he never put a pair of gloves on, and he had a lot of power.
Never needed him.
No, he did not.
Here's the 1-2 to Schmidt as Lutz looks at first and deals. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Threw the fastball in on the hands. Schmidt set down on strikes. 2 outs in the inning, both via the K, and that brings up Cade Higgins with 2 outs and Heft on first base. Still scoreless here in the home half of the first inning. Cade Higgins with a mammoth blast in his first at-bat yesterday. Rather, his third at-bat, although he had a double in AB number 1, so not too bad either.
Yeah, that ball traveled a long ways, 413 feet.
That's gone anywhere. Heft extends the lead off first as Higgins lines one off the glove of the second baseman Durbin, who dove up the middle. He's up and firing to first base, and it's in time. That'll fire up the teammates. Higgins absolutely robbed on a stellar play and a better recovery by Durbin at second base. We've played 1, no score between UNLV and Bradley. No score, top 2. Matt Everett along with Dan Dolby here from Earl E. Wilson Stadium. The Rebels, after a 1-out base hit from J.P. Heft, unable to scratch him up even 90 feet as we enter the second scoreless. First pitch from Albert Robles in his second inning of work, in for a called strike to Logan Delgado. Left-handed batting catcher for the Braves. Entering in 1 and 3. They won their opening day game a week ago plus a day against Western Kentucky and have lost 3 in a row since. Delgado swings through a fastball. Bradley team 16 and 32 last year and selected 10th out of 10 in the Missouri Valley Conference in the preseason poll. They were feisty yesterday, though.
They never quit.
This one's lined to short. Myro leaps, and it's off his glove into left center field. That's a base hit for Delgado, the first of the game for the Braves. That thing hit well. Looked like it took a tail on Paul. He thought he had it measured up.
It did. It looked like he had a beat on it the whole way, but kept rising and kind of tailing away to left field. Myro might have misjudged that just a little too. He looked like he jumped a little early, but nevertheless, good hit. Another leadoff batter on for Bradley. 4 out of the 9 innings last night. Leadoff batters on.
Yeah, 4 of the first 5 as well.
Yeah.
Breaking ball. Over the outside for a strike to Michael Milott, spelled M-Y-L-O-T-T. The DH batting 5th. 3 of his first 11. He was 1 for 4 with an RBI base hit yesterday.
You know, one of the things you're looking at from a pitcher like Robles is get an 0-2 count. Got to get something down lower in the zone right there.
He deals out of the stretch. Tries to drop a breaking ball in the top of the zone, but no dice. Count goes even at 1.
The one thing you watched Robles, same motion, same legs stride. He's pretty balanced. I think that's when he's the most effective. When he's trying to overthrow, you'll see him stride a little longer.
Grizik holds the runner. Robles looks in that direction. Deals to the plate. Gets a swing and a miss from Milott.
Good breaking ball right there. Again, we talked about the velocity. We're already getting the read on him. He's 90 and 92 with his fastball. And he drops that little cutter in right there from about 82, 84.
Middle infield double play depth as Robles deals on 1-2. Swung on and poked foul. That'll clear the seats in right field and keep the count. A ball and 2 strikes.
Here's another opportunity way ahead in the count at 1 and 2. This is a situation where he needs to keep the ball down low, try to produce something on the ground for a double play for the Rebels.
No wind to speak of. Perfectly still Saturday afternoon. Here's another 1-2 offering. Robles deals. Milott swings and rolls one softly to the third base side. Charging is Ditmar. It's off the heel of his glove. Picked up by the pitcher Robles. Nowhere to go with the throw. Base hit for, or rather an error. Ditmar coming in on that one, but definitely had it in time. He got the big hop, but as mentioned, went right off the heel of the glove by the wrist.
Yeah, it looked like he thought that thing was going to be coming a little faster at him. Kind of got a little lazy on that. He's a tall kid at third base. Needs to bend the knees, get down a little lower, get the sure out at first base. No chance to get a double play there.
No, not at all. How softly that one was hit. Jackson Chatterton squares to bunt. Left-handed batter pulls it back on a fastball in by the feet. Goes for ball 1. Delgado up to second on the error off the bat of Milott.
You know, Robles made a good pitch there. He did keep it low like we were talking about, but that ball just not hit very, very hard and kind of took a little funky roll in the grass at first out of the batter's box. But that's a play that the third baseman should make.
Corner infield's creeping. Chatterton gets the bunt down. Off the mound to grab it is Robles. The forced throw to third is in time. Ditmar standing on the base for the out. That's a fielder's choice. 1-5 on the putout. Great athleticism there from Robles to get off.
It's a great decision. You heard we could hear the dugout yelling 3 because the runner on second base, Delgado, did not get a very good break. That ball, if you're a batter, you got to get that more down one of the lines right there. Something towards the pitcher is going to make it easy force out at third.
So runners on first and second with 1 down after a base hit followed by an error and a fielder's choice. And the count now 1-0 to Bo Durbin, left-handed batting second baseman, who made a phenomenal diving play up the middle to rob Cade Higgins of a base hit and likely an RBI in the bottom of the first inning.
The ball was struck.
The 1-0. Hit in the air to left center. Ryland Charles drifts over into the gap. Center fielder tracking, still on the move, cuts in front of the left fielder Pimentel and makes the catch for out number 2. A throw into the third baseman Ditmar up the line, but either runner, Milott on second, or Chatterton on first, able to advance. So a fly out from Durbin brings up Cole Lucky. No score, 2 on and 2 down.
That's why that fielding by Robles on the bunt to get the lead runner is so important. You know, with 1 out, you can get the double play, or you get a lazy fly ball right there, and you're 1 out away from getting out of a 2-man on early inning.
Cole Lucky swing to the first pitch, fouls it straight down. Looked like that one off the leg of Chase Gallegos. He wore one on the inner thigh yesterday. Got to be not only tough, but just a little bit off, I would say, to catch, especially once you get to this level.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of a you can't be afraid of any type of pain, because over the season you're going to actually take a beating.
Throw goes to second. And JP Heft there, but the tag applied late. Apologize for an issue with our camera. We'll get that squared away. For now, we'll go True Radio. It's more up my alley.
Paint a picture for everybody.
Count 0-1 as Robles comes set looking to second. Bouncing off the bases, Milott. Pitch in the dirt on a breaking ball. Good job of going down to the knees to block it for Gallegos. 1-1 to the number 8 batter, Cole Lucky. Right-handed batting left fielder. 2 for 8 rather on the year. Both of those hits yesterday. Singles in each of his first 2 at-bats. Robles on 1-1. Deals a breaking ball through the top of the zone for a strike. Good 12-6 movement on that.
That's a tumbler right there. That one's coming out of the hand, and you're thinking that's going to stay up in the zone and comes right across the numbers. Good pitch right there.
The count, 1 ball, 2 strikes as Robles comes set. Hands together at the belt. He deals. Swung on and fouled straight back on a dribbler. Lucky stays alive. Easton Harris, the on-deck batter, the shortstop. Final man to come up to bat for the Braves. Robles would much rather face him in the second. With 2 on and 2 down. Takes the sign from Gallegos. Second baseman Hefner the bag. Robles looks, turns to the plate and deals. He misses high with the fastball.
That was a waste pitch right there. That one was trying to get him to chase something high in the zone with 2 strikes, trying to protect the plate, but no go. Good solid piece of hitting right there.
Infield's deep. Hefner the bag at second. He backs away as Robles deals on 2-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Challenged him with his best fastball. Lucky came up empty. Robles, 2 strikeouts through 2. He strands a pair on. And through an inning and a half, no score between the Rebels and the Braves.
Number 47, Austin Grizzick.
5-6-7 due up for UNLV. Bottom of the second inning from early Wilson Stadium. Rebels looking for their 5th win in a row. After an opening day loss to Pacific, they took the next 2, defeated Stanford as the number 23 team in the country last week, and 9-3 win in the opening game of the series extended the streak. Austin Grizzick, in from the right, takes a front door breaking ball from Robles, or rather from Travis Lutz, the Bradley starter who got through the first inning in 4 batters. Gave up a base hit but struck out both Ryland Charles and Parker Schmidt. Grizzick swings and lifts this one to straightaway center field. Drifting back is Ryan Vogel. Center fielder gets behind it, stops, reaches up, and makes a one-hand grab as Grizzick flies out to center to lead things off here in the bottom of inning number 2. Paul Myro, the 4th, due up now. Alex Pimentel in the hole with Chase Ditmar and Chase Gallegos rounding out the starting 9 for the Rebels.
Yeah, Myro coming in 3 for 14 to start out the year, so not the start that he wants, but I had a little conversation with him the pregame, and he's still really confident in his swing right now. He just got to find his groove, and he's going to end up, you know, if Myro hits 280 to 300, it's going to be a really good year for a defensive shortstop.
Checks his swing on a fastball high. He's got his younger brother Gunnar as well, who's a really intriguing young player for this team. Plays a bunch of different positions. They both do.
Yeah, we talked about Schmidt earlier being kind of that utility guy. We got the same thing in the freshman Gunnar.
Paul, the older brother, the older of the 2 Myro siblings, takes a fastball at the knees. Paul 3 for 14 to start the year. Batting in the 6th slot yesterday. Drove in a run on a double in the 4th. Plated Grizzick, who walked. Struck out twice and was hit by a pitch. Fouls a fastball back to the screen.
One of the things I'll tell you about Paul is he really took the strength and conditioning program to heart this year. He's really put on some muscle. Still has been able to keep his wheels. He's one of the faster Rebels on the field. Just got to get that bat working.
He's ahead in the count, 2-1. Rolls a ground ball to short, picked up on 2 hops by Easton Harris, who sets the feed and fires across the diamond in time. 2 up, 2 down here in the second. And Travis Lutz now retiring 5 of the first 6 he's faced. Nobody on, 2 down ahead of Alex Pimentel, who's back in the lineup today. He got an at-bat yesterday and flied out, but was not in the starting lineup for the first time.
I would have never thought I would be giving you stats right now that he is 0 for 17. He's just in a little bit of a funk. Did hit a really good ball. That ball was pulled down the line, left field line. He hit that ball in the gap last night. Good play by the right fielder last night, but was able to sacrifice. Or it wasn't a sacrifice, but score a run, get the RBI off of that.
He's behind 0-1, looking for his first hit of the year. He hits a hard ground ball, but right to the shortstop's chest. Harris sets the feed and fires another one in time to first base. UNLV down in order, a quick and easy 1-2-3 bottom of the second. And through 2 innings, no score from the Earl. Top of the third coming up next. This is UNLV Baseball. UNLV Baseball brought to you by Parkway Tavern, official partner of UNLV Athletics, and your official home of Rebels on the Road. With over 250 beers, 24/7 gaming, and 7 Valley locations, there's no better place to catch the game, any game, than Parkway Tavern. Along with Dan Dolby, I'm Matt Neverett here from Early Wilson Stadium. Second game of 3 between UNLV and Bradley, scoreless into the third. 9-1-2 due up for the visiting Braves as the shortstop, Easton Harris, saunters in for the first time. He'll be followed by the leadoff man, Ryan Vogel, and Tyrese Johnson, the right fielder. Albert Robles starting his third inning of work. After going 1-2-3 in the first, gave up a base hit, an error, and a runner reaching on a fielder's choice, but a couple of runners stranded on. No damage done against him. First pitch fastball, high and tight, but called for a strike to Harris. 2 for 7 on the year, 1 for 3 with his sacrifice yesterday. Ditmar, a couple of steps behind the base at third. Everybody else pretty much straight up. As Robles steals from the full wind. This is just downstairs for ball 1.
Another beautiful day out here at Early Wilson Stadium on the campus of UNLV. This is what baseball in the spring is, well, early spring is all about.
Another breaking ball tumbling through the top of the zone for a strike. Robles has had that pitch working.
Yeah.
You got to have confidence in it to throw it up.
Yeah, you know, his effort there on that pitch when it comes tumbling through the top, you can tell he's over the top on that thing. He's really got a good handle on that spin rate.
Backs Harris away with the heater in by the hips. Even up the count at 2. Robles making his second outing of the year. He's as far as he was in his first outing already. That breaking ball's hit on the ground to second, picked up after a lot of spin by J.P. Heft. Fires a sidearm strike to first. Harris rounds out to second to start the third, and as the lineup wraps back around to the top, Albert Robles already deeper, now 2 1/3 innings in than he was in his first outing last week.
Yeah, which should breed some confidence for him, right? You know, those 5 walks are what really came back to haunt him last week. Luckily, the Rebels were able to bounce back late in that game by a number of errors by Pacific. So kind of evened out, but I know Robles was a little disappointed in his outing.
The speedy Ryan Vogel starts ahead, 1 ball, no strikes. He struck out swinging to lead off the game. Cole Luckey struck out to end the second. Those are the only 2 punch-outs so far for SoCal native Albert Robles. Lifts the hands over the head and deals on 1-0. Gets a strike on a breaking pitch. That one clipping the outer third. A little bit of velo that guys like Robles and Austin Cates, who started yesterday, relative to where this program has been over the last couple of years. Great to have 3 or 4 guys from the starting role that throw in the 90s like Robles, as this one's popped up high and deep to right field, but playable for Cade Higgins. As he settles behind it, makes the catch for out number 2. Make it 4 straight retired by Robles. 2 up and 2 away here in the third for Tyrese Johnson.
You talked about that spin rate by the people that we have seen. There's a number of guys in the bullpen that we haven't even seen yet, right? We got L.J. Mercurio, who's a freshman coming in, whose velo is like 92 to 94 in the springtime. So we got a lot of depth. We just never had that before in the last, it's pretty much Stan Stolte's era.
Tyrese Johnson takes a strike. The leading hitter so far for this Bradley team. 0 for 1 with the fly out to Charles and left center back in the first. No score, nobody on with 2 outs in the third. Line drive, fouling out a plate on the first base side. Tomorrow, the series finale, an 11:05 first pitch. UNLV expecting to keep the same 3-man rotation as last weekend. That would line up Sam Simon to get the start, and he was very impressive last week.
Yeah, he had a great outing. That's what we're really going to need out of Sammy this year.
The 0-2, grounded left side. Ditmar dives. It's through the shortstop as well into left field for a knock. Tyrese Johnson trickling one through. Not always about how hard you hit it, but that one located, and that's just the second hit allowed by Robles through 2 2/3.
And that's a pitch I think Robles would really want to have back. Again, 0-2 in the count. Get something up a little bit in the zone on the inside corner, but was able to be fisted over there by Johnson. And Johnson's one of the speedier guys out there. Keep an eye on him here.
So Robles now out of the stretch as Timmy O'Brien stands in. First baseman takes a bouncing ball in the dirt. As Gallegos stops it, looks the runner back to first.
Robles has not been behind in the count much at all today. So I'm sure those are conversations that he'll have with Coach Vanderhook when he gets back into the dugouts. Is don't be afraid to waste a pitch. Keep it out of the zone a little bit when you're ahead.
He's been efficient early. He misses high here to go 2 balls, no strikes. I mean, no 3-0 counts so far.
No.
We're still early.
I can't even remember a 2-0 count, actually.
Falling behind here. O'Brien grounded out to Meyer with short to end the first inning. Although he had a big day yesterday. After striking out in the first, he doubled and then singled twice, scoring twice. On 2-0, Robles steals. O'Brien with a big swing, but he pulls it foul on the ground. You think he was sitting fastball on 2-0?
He was sitting on that. And actually, that ball was in and out of the zone. So Robles got a little bit of a break there.
Helped out a little bit, pitching here in his 3rd inning of work last year at Riverside City College. He didn't go over 3 innings at all. Just 2 starts and 13 outings as a whole. Runner goes. Pitch a called strike. The throw from Gallegos on the third base side of the bag. It's not in time either. Johnson with his first steal in 2 tries on the year. Gallegos threw out 2 would-be base stealers yesterday. Had a strong throw, but as Joe Madden once said, Dan, there's not a lot of outs on that side of the base with the runner breaking.
Correct. If you're on the shortstop side of the bag right there, that's a tough tag for Hef to get down. Good throw, but just a little bit off the mark.
So with the runner on second, 2-2 pitches popped up shallow to right field. Here comes Cade Higgins. He's underneath it and makes the catch with one hand over the left shoulder for out number 3. In the top of the third for Bradley, no runs on 1 hit, no errors and a man left on through 2.5. No score between UNLV and Bradley.
Third baseman, number 7, Chase Ditmar.
8, 9, and 1 due up in the Rebel lineup as we enter into the bottom of inning number 3. Slow going offensively on both sides. 0-0 as Chase Ditmar stands in against Travis Lutz. after 12 runs total yesterday. Veritable pitcher's duel thus far. Who's going to break first? As Ditmar hacks at the first pitch, but chops it foul on the third base side. Jace Ditmar up for the first time, and Dan, he has been phenomenal to start his second year in the program.
Yeah, 7 for 13, really torrid start. And he's been getting hits at the critical times, too. So it's not only good hitting, it's good situational hitting.
Takes a front door breaking ball from Travis Lutz for a called strike.
We talked about Robles and keeping the ball down on that breaking ball, especially. Lutz is doing a very good job of that, too, for the Braves.
He's ahead of Ditmar here, 0-2. Hits this one off the hands, on the ground to third. Down to a knee is Jackson Chatterton. Over from the hot corner, he fires to first. That's the third straight ground out induced by Travis Lutz, and the sixth straight Rebel out following a J.P. Heft single in the first inning. One out, nobody on. No score for Chase Gallegos, who will try to reach.
You know, Lutz, again, keeping that ball low in the zone. A number of Rebel batters now have just rolled over on a number of pitches. Weak grounders to second or short and third base. So Rebels are going to have to start getting their hands down a little earlier in the zone if they're going to try to get. There's one right there.
Ground ball up the middle, backhanded by the second baseman Durbin. A leaping throw to first is in time.
Play.
Second great defensive play by Durbin. That one do or die up the middle.
Yeah, that's a great play. Durbin getting all the way across the bag. He actually caught that just behind second base and made a really strong throw over to first. So 2 outs here. Rebels look to the top of the lineup here with Rylan Charles.
Squares to bunt, pulls it back on a slider in the dirt for ball one. Rylan struck out to start the home half of the first. J.P. Heft, who's on deck, followed it with the single. Still the only base runner for UNLV thus far. Lutz about 89 to 92 today. But as you mentioned, Dan, locating well, as he does here, dotting that fastball over the outside for strike one. Rylan Charles, 5 of 27 to start, but he is capable of getting on a hot streak just about any time. Swings and misses at a pitch, tumbling down or away from him. And it goes 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on.
Bradley must have a pretty good scouting report on Charles because left fielder Lucky playing towards the line against the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, big gap in left center as Charles lashes one out of plate on the left field side, out beyond third base.
We talked about Pinaro going opposite field a lot of times as a left-handed hitter in the lineup last night. Charles has got the same thing. He does have power down the right field line, but he will slap to left.
Takes that breaking pitch that just stays off the outside. Lutz thought it might have been strike 3. Instead, it brings the count even at 2.
That's a tough one to watch.
Elite pitch recognition there from Rylan Charles. Stares down Lutz. He deals. Rylan gets a piece and fouls it back to the screen. Not trying to do too much there. Just shortening up with 2 strikes to stay alive.
You know, they talk about shortening up. He's a guy that chokes up on the bat regardless of the count. One of the only batters in the Rebel lineup that has about 3 inches below the hands.
Uses it to dribble one down the first base side. Bounces in foul ground before, I was going to say touched up by Lutz, but he just kind of ran over it. And Charles trying to bounce inside of that. He had that play last night where he grounded out 1-3 on the scorecard, but it was more than that. It was a similar looking chopper. And at the time, it was the starter, Noah Edders, still in the game. Went for the tag and missed, fell to a knee, but had the presence of mind to fire to first.
Well, Rylan was heads up on that, and he stopped before he could make the play, then had to make a play to first base.
Here's the 2-2. Another chopper foul. Yanked down the line by Rylan Charles.
This is a classic at-bat by Rylan. This is the old Rylan when Rylan was hitting 350 for the Rebs. He would foul off a lot of pitches, be very selective, and been able to drive one through a gap.
Of course, the year to remember, 2022 for Rylan, where he batted .382. Started every single game.
There it is.
Crushes this one in the air to right center field. Back goes Vogel. Center fielder can't get it. It's over his head and rolling all the way to the wall. Bounces on the fence at the 400-foot marker. Charles rounds second. He slams on the brakes and falls as the throw goes to third. It's Jackson Chatterton firing to second base in time with Bo Durbin there to apply the tag. 8-5 to 4 on the putout at second base. And Charles, after a double, beg your pardon, thrown out trying to stretch it to 3. Rebels put their second hit on the board, but Charles runs into an out, or rather falls into an out on the base pass. No score between UNLV and Bradley through 3 innings full. We enter the fourth scoreless following a Ryland Charles double thrown out on the base pass. Trying to turn it into a triple, slammed on the brakes and lost his footing. 8-6-5-4 put out. Recorded the final out of the third at second base. That'll bring up the middle third of the Bradley lineup. Both sides looking for that first run offensively. As Logan Delgado, Michael Milot, and Jackson Chatterton look to get it going. 44 pitches through 3 innings from Albert Robles. He looks to continue on, dealing out of the full windup here to the left-handed batter. First pitch in there for a called strike. As Logan Delgado, who singled earlier to lead off the second inning, leads off the fourth, behind 0-1. Ditmar away from the base at third. Everybody else more or less straight up around the infield as Robles bounces a pitch. With nobody on, Gallegos will let it go down the third base side.
Taylor, 2 pitches right there. Robles throws the fastball, that first pitch right down the middle. Great balance. Kind of fell away from the pitch towards the first base side right there. He kind of tapped himself on the chest to Gallegos saying, that was my fault.
See what he comes back with. He induces a swing and a foul tip back into the mitt. Delgado behind that fastball that's been as high as 92 today from Robles. Takes the sign here from Chase, who sets up over the outside. Here's the 1-2. Changeup drifting away and off the outside for ball 2.
That's a good pitch there, though. It's going to make you think as a batter, being down in the count 1-2, especially the left-handed hitter right here. Tails away from him, but those are tasty.
The 2-ball, 2-strike delivery is swung on and missed. Look at that curveball. Robles with his 3rd strikeout of the game and a big-time leadoff out here in the 4th.
And that curve was a little bit different. He's been throwing that tumbler through the top of the zone. That one had more of a little vertical break into the hands for a good pitch right there to get the strikeout.
Robles, who struck out 4 over 2+ innings, struck out 3, but has lasted longer today. First pitch to Milot over the outside for a called strike. He rolled over a ball down the third base side that Ditmar couldn't field cleanly. It was an error at the time, advancing Delgado from first to second base. Right on right matchup, moves to 0-2. Robles with great location there. If he's able to dot that fastball, makes his other pitches just all the more effective.
Yeah, be ahead of the count now. We've talked about this. Got to get something a little out of the zone right now as Gallegos sets up off the plate.
The 0-2.
That's it right there.
Way off the outside.
That's okay. Those are waste pitches right there. All you're doing right there is trying to get them to be a little aggressive and try to swing at something that is not in the strike zone.
Myro and Heft up the middle with their heels on the outfield grass as Robles deals. Swung on, fouled into the mitt. Gallegos squeezes it for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts to start off the 4th. So far, so good for Robles in a scoreless game.
That's a good little example of the coaches communicating, because that ball was set off previous pitch off the plate away from the right-handed hitter. They came back inside, so they're really mixing up the pitches for Rodriguez right now.
Switch hitting, Jackson Chatterton hacks at the first pitch and fouls it back to the screen.
I should say Robles.
Nobody on with 2 outs for Chatterton, who squared a bunt in the second and dropped into a fielder's choice. Here comes Corey Vanderhook, the pitching coach. He sees something he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Does this lead you to believe he's seeing something technically with Robles, or is this more of just a mental break?
I don't know. I think, you get 2 strikeouts to start out the inning. He must see something that he's not very comfortable with. It's a quick mound visit. When a pitching coach is on the bounce and gets out there relatively quickly, it's nothing really big. It's just maybe a little confidence, maybe, hey, mixed up on the signals. But Vanderhook back to the dugout, and again, Robles ahead in the count.
Let's see what they talked about. As Chatterton squares to bunt, and that breaking pitch goes by him for strike 2. Interesting.
Yeah.
Chatterton also no batting gloves. You want to talk about an old school look. Got the pants down. No batting gloves. No wristbands. You like a little flair. On 0-2, he checks the swing and gets a piece. Old school approach there as well.
Yeah.
Chatterton, fielder's choice today, was batting in the 2 spot yesterday, but was 0 for 4 with a line out, couple of ground outs, and a K. Way ahead is Robles, the 0-2. Popped up, fouled on the third base side. Ditmar on his horse. Here comes the left fielder, Pimentel. Ditmar, underhand, makes the catch before crashing into the fence in the front of the bullpen.
Outstanding play.
Long way to go for Ditmar. He gloves it in foul ground for the out. Slap an exclamation point next to that one. Albert Robles goes 1-2-3 through the top of the fourth. J.P. Heft to lead off next. No score between UNLV and Bradley. UNLV Baseball presented by Intermountain Health. Here to be a part of your Las Vegas life. More importantly, here to help you live an even healthier one. Intermountain Healthcare, official health partner of UNLV Athletics and presenting sponsor of Hustlin' Rebels Baseball. No score in a pitcher's duel. It's the bottom of the fourth inning. And J.P. Heft set to lead things off against Travis Lutz for the visiting Bradley Braves. Rebels with no runs on a hit. A pair of hits, beg your pardon. Bradley the same through the one extra plate appearance in the top of the fourth. Lutz steals to Heft, who takes a breaking ball just down on him, a bit off the outside as well for ball one. JP with a base hit back in the first inning, outside of that Charles double in the bottom of the third, the only base runner to reach for the Rebels. He swings here, goes the other way. It's past the second baseman, Durbin into right field. An eerily similar spot to his first single. Heft now 2 for 2 with a couple of base hits.
That was almost a mirror of his first shot right there earlier in the game, the first inning. But I talked to Coach Higgins last night about that, and we were talking about some of the newbies that are in the lineup for the Rebels, and Coach Higgins was really high on Heft. He says he's just a solid baseball player. The guy never, I haven't heard him say 2 words in the last 6 months that he's been here. He's just a worker.
He's on first for Parker Schmidt, who struck out back in the first inning. Slightly open stance for Schmidt, who takes up. Ball one will put him ahead 1-0.
Parker has a little bit of a throwback stance here in the box. A lot of knee flex, wide stance, hands high.
Watches a throw to first. Diving back in is Heft on the pickoff attempt. And JP 0 for 1. Stolen base attempts on the year. Mentioned Parker Schmidt transferring from Utah Tech. That's where the Rebels will be on Tuesday. There's a foul ball from the former Utah Tech player, Parker Schmidt, sets the count even at 1. Spent 2 full seasons in St. George, batted .315 and .313. Started 78 of the 88 games in which he appeared. Off of first is Heft. Lutz out of the stretch, gets a foul ball, poked on the third base side. Sneaks past Kevin Higgins. We talked yesterday, you were on the broadcast, about Higgy's strategy, or lack thereof sometimes.
Yeah.
That
ball should have been caught.
That one he evaded. I will say, as long as you're consistent. It's like when you and somebody else in a tight hallway, you just stick with one and go with it. Another throw to first since Heft diving in back ahead of the throw. 1-2 count for Parker Schmidt. Got on base at a .405 clip last year. And slugged .544. That's an OPS of .945. Watches a breaking ball. Good block by Delgado, sliding to his right on the knees.
I think one of the things you're going to see from Schmidt throughout the years is, or this year for the Rebels, is coming in with 4 years of college experience. He's going to be good at the plate. He's not going to be too jumpy up there. He's got a nice relaxed swing. Got to put the ball in play right here.
Back-to-back first team all whack the last couple of seasons. Another throw to first. Heft back in ahead of it.
Yeah, how about that? You know, we'll talk a little bit more about the transfer portal and what it's done to the game of baseball. Good and bad, right? But you got a guy who's 2 years all whack who ends up transferring.
Hits this one on the ground to second. Screamer picked up by Durbin. The feed to seconds in time. Harris coming across the bag. And in time to first. 4-6-3 on the twin killing. And the leadoff single wiped out.
Yeah, that was a textbook double play. Durbin makes a good play on a one-hopper. Feeds it over to Harris, and good relay over to first base for a double play. I'm not sure we had any double plays last night, but good defensively after the Rebels get a leadoff batter on.
Sometimes those hot shots are easier. You don't have to think about it. As Higgins takes a called strike on a backdoor breaking ball. Yeah, a lot of times the slow rollers, the ones that bounce back and forth, little undulations of the infield grass, those are harder.
Well, the good thing that Durbin did right there, sometimes on those hot shots, they'll let the ball get into their body, turn their glove over. He kept it out in front of him, able to make a good relay over to second, and that's a double play you take every day.
Higgins pulls one foul on the first base side on the ground. He was robbed by Durbin in the first inning. Hit a hot shot grounder back up the middle. Durbin made a great play to get there on a dive. Didn't field it cleanly, but kept it close. Threw Higgins out at first to retire the side. Breaking pitch. Bouncing in the dirt for ball two. Deuce is wild here in the fourth. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
Higgins is not going to see a lot of fastballs late in counts this year because he can jump all over that fastball like he did last night. You'll see a massive amount of breaking balls late in counts against him this year.
Pair of extra base hits in the 9-3 win yesterday. Another pitch in the dirt taken, and we've got our first full count for UNLV hitter today. We've been giving all the credit where it's rightfully been due to Albert Robles for being efficient, but how about the effort from Travis Lutz as well?
Yeah, he's matched Robles pitch for pitch, basically.
Pair of strikeouts, no walks. Given up just 3 hits, but wiped one of them out with a double play. One of them eradicated on a base-running error by Rylan Charles as Higgins takes a called ball 4 high, sprinting down to first afterwards. So we've got our first walk for either team, and it's with 2 outs to Higgins in the fourth. Austin Krizik looking for an RBI. He's got 4 of them already this year. No score, bottom of the fourth inning. Higgins on first for Austin Krizik. Flight out to straightaway center field, leading off the second inning. Krizik standing tall in the box. How about that slider coming in over the inside for a strike from Lutz?
That's a good pitch. That started in on the hands against Krizik and shot it all the way across the plate for a good pitch.
That's when you can tell he recognized out of the hand. Saw the spin. He was coming right at him, but he didn't flinch. As Lutz misses outside, evening up the count.
Lutz overthrew right there. Throwing that fastball, trying to get something on the outside corner, but fell off the mound towards first base. And he's been more balanced this game so far. Imagine you'll see him going back to staying a little bit more still.
Good size lead for Higgins. Lutz thought so as well. He throws to first. It's late.
And talking last night to Coach Vanderhook, talked about the heartbeat of pitchers, right? You got a guy like Lutz that's up there, slows his heartbeat down, tries to stay in control. Been doing a really good job.
Another throw to first. This one on a bang-bang play, not in time once more. We do got to look this up, Dan, because the disengagement rule in Major League Baseball, has that made its way down here?
It has.
So then there was one that was missed. As Krizik blasts this one to left center. Going back is the center fielder, Vogel. It's gone! Over the fence in left center goes Austin Krizik. First offense of the game comes in the bottom of the fourth on Krizik's first home run of the 2024 season.
Outstanding piece of hitting right there. He sat on that curveball, kept his weight back, and was able to get his hips through, hands followed, and that ball cleared the 375 mark right over the Intermountain Health sign out there in left center. It's his first blast of the year, and he's got off to a torrid start, and I think this is going to be a year that we're going to really look back and go, that year he had last year, that was an anomaly, right? He's going to bounce back, and he's going to be at the top of the batting average for the Rebels.
Palmyra with empty bases is hit. That one got him on the arm. And
yeah, that was not intentional. That one just got away from Lutz. A lot of times, you know, you get a little testy up there when you get hit after a home run, but Myro, he knows the game. He's a senior. He's trots down to first base, get a mound visit from the catcher Delgado, and now we got some action rolling into the bullpen for the Braves.
A couple of arms hustling down as pitching coach heads out to the mound. And back to the bomb from Krizik. I mentioned it's his first of the year. It's his 23rd of his career. That comes after a 12 home run season 2 years ago. When he's at his best, he probably has the most home run pop on this roster.
He does, and it's to multiple areas of the field, right? That was a pull home run right there to left center, but he's got the power to go oppo also. We've seen that over his career.
Alex Pimentel waiting as Bradley brings the entirety of the infield in for this mound visit. Trying to get everybody on the same page here as pitching coach and former big leaguer Andrew Werner brings them atop the hill.
Where'd he play? Any idea?
Give you the answer in 2 seconds.
Okay.
I do know he made a handful of starts with the Padres in 2012. I know he was signed as a undrafted free agent. Played at Illinois Central College where Travis Lutz, the starter today, went. Graduated from University of Indianapolis. It's the beauty of the internet here. Andrew Werner back to the dugout as Alex Pimentel in from the right side with Myro on first and 2 outs. Rebels in a 2-0 lead, and this next pitch hits him. That one got him on the helmet. Pimentel looks to be all right as drops the bat down the first base side, waves off the trainer as he heads down to first. Back-to-back hit by pitches on back-to-back deliveries following a home run.
Correct, and Rebel dugout, I think that after the first one that hit Myro was okay with that one. We're going to get a visit right now. Coach Stolte is headed out to talk to the home plate umpire. 2 in a row, the second one being in the head. The Rebels aren't very happy about that one.
And I mean, there's no real history between these teams.
No,
Rebels
no.
4-1 all time against Bradley and haven't played since 2019. Whatever Stan said has got all 4 umpires coming together. But you know, no real history. There's no intent there. You would assume, but I mean the optics not great. Back-to-back pitches following a go-ahead home run.
Yeah, I know Coach Stolte has had a relationship with Coach Dominguez, the head coach for Bradley, over the years. They're taking a look at the helmet of Pimentel to make sure that nothing's broken.
And Tino Panaro came running out. Yeah, I'd like to have a guy like that ready to go.
Yeah.
Panaro and Pimentel seem to be like they're going to go back and forth for most of the year in left field.
And they're going to rotate to DH also.
Yeah.
The one thing, though, a ball that is taken to the head like that, there was a trainer visit from the Rebel dugout to make sure, you know, with the concussion protocol and all the things that we're trying to do to protect the players, it's probably a good time to just go out and check on them.
Pimentel's all right, as is Myro. He only got hit in the arm. Back-to-back hit by pitches following the Krizik blast, and with a 2-0 lead, 2 on, 2 down for Chase Ditmar, who can really break this game open. Did so yesterday with a 2 RBI base hit in the 8th inning, bringing the final to 9-3. And he's hit by the next pitch.
Okay, now we've got some John going on.
That's 3 in a row, and yeah, just looking down to the Rebel dugout, you are 100% correct. So the base is loaded, 3 pitches after a home run.
Now batting the catcher.
There's only really 1 or 2 ways to do that, and that's 3 hits on 3 pitches or 3 hit by pitch on 3 pitches, which is what we have here.
You know, there was no way I thought that Lutz would come inside after hitting 2 batters consecutively. But he threw a breaking ball that never broke and stayed in on the shoulder of Ditmar. So, you know, Gallegos has a chance now after 3 hit-by pitches in a row to break this game open.
And with the right-hander wearing number 50, Braden Marks warming up in the bullpen for Bradley. Base is loaded for Chase Gallegos. Travis Lutz delivers. It's a minor miracle, Dan. A strike in the zone and not into the back of a Rebel batter. Myro on third, Pimentel on second, Ditmar off first. 3 consecutive hit batters put him there. Gallegos checks his swing on a pitch in the dirt. Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire Alberto Ruiz. And now it's going to take digging his way out of an 0-2 count for Gallegos to crack this game open.
You know, what's going to be interesting, at the major league level, you get 3 hit-by pitchers in a row. You're probably going to see at the change of the inning something pretty close to sending a message back to the Braves. But college baseball, and I don't think anything has been intentional.
On 0-2, Lutz deals. Gallegos swings through a fastball. Can't connect for strike 3, stranding. The base is loaded. But the damage done. The Rebels on the scoreboard first on an Austin Krizik 2-run jackby on the left center field fence. And after 4 innings full here at Earl E. Wilson Stadium, the Rebels lead the Braves 2-0.
Leading off the top of the fifth for the Braves, the second baseman, number 5, Bo Durbin.
Entering into the top of the 5th inning, along with Dan Dolby, I'm Matt Neverett here from Earl E. Wilson Stadium. And the Rebels, after a 2-run bomb from Austin Krizik, lead the game 2-0. Bo Durbin, Cole Luckey, Easton Harris. First 3 batters up against Albert Robles for the Rebels. To start the top of inning number 5, Robles 4 strikeouts, no walks, just 2 hits allowed through 4 innings full. Here comes his 58th pitch of his second outing of the year to the left-handed batting Bo Durbin. Thought about swinging, held up on the check swing, probably wishes he had as he takes it for a strike.
You know, in Robles' first outing, didn't go very deep with only 2 complete, so he's got plenty left in the tank.
Overhand delivery, popped in the air to left field. Here comes Alex Pimentel, who was hit on the head. Stays in the game in left field and records that put out to lead things off in the 5th. Good to see Pimentel able to stay in there, because while he has struggled offensively to start the year, one thing that will never waver is his ability defensively in the outfield.
Well, absolutely. And I will tell you this, you know, I've gotten to know Pimmy over the last couple of years. He's tough. He's a football type of thought process, attack the game. So
here's one hit in his direction by Cole Luckey. That's foul. That thing started fair and then took a pretty big hook down into the corner for strike 1.
But Pimentel's real big in the weight room. He actually, the other day, he asked me, as I was walking through the clubhouse, he said, could I outlift the receivers on the football team? And I'm like, that's a strange question.
Tells you what he's thinking about this time of year, right?
I said, well, you should be thinking about, trying to outlift a tight end or a lineman.
Yeah.
And not a receiver.
I'll be happy if I can outlift a kicker, but we're on different planes here. A ground ball fisted to the left side. Charging is Myro. Shortstop's got it. Throws from the off foot. And it's in time. Good stretch by Krizik as well. 2 up and 2 away for Robles in the 5th. That's 6 straight that he's retired since a base hit from Tyrese Johnson in the 3rd.
We were talking off air about the defensive play of Krizik over at first base. This is the first year he's ever played first base. Even at the lower levels, done an outstanding job. Some of those picks he's made over there at first are outstanding.
Easton Harris takes a called strike 1. Robles going backwards, throwing the curveball right down the chute. Harris 0 for 1 with a ground out to Heft at second. 2-0, the Rebels lead. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the 5th inning. Nearly at the halfway point. Out of the full wide, Robles deals. Line drive shot straight back to the screen, moves it 0-2.
Again, way ahead in the count, and he's been that way all game. Only giving up the 2 hits. I think both of them, though, came on 0-2, 1-2 counts. So, see what he does here.
Takes the sign from Gallegos. Here's the 0-2. Popped up, shallow to right field. Higgins coming in, calls off the second baseman Heft and makes a casual catch just off the left shoulder. Another 1-2-3 inning spun up by Albert Robles. That's his 3rd through 5 frames. And through 4 1/2, half a ball game. It's the Rebels on top of the Bradley Braves, 2-0. Top of the lineup, leads it off in the bottom of the 5th inning for UNLV. Ryland Charles, followed by J.P. Heft and Parker Schmidt. UNLV on top of Bradley, 2-0. Rebels looking to continue their winning streak. Winners of 4 in a row after dropping the opening game of the year to Pacific in a 2-1 decision. Ryland Charles had a solo home run in that game, the only offense for the Scarlet and Gray to get the year started. Since then, he's been slow with the bat, but 1 for 2 today with a double. And he's ahead 1-0 here as Travis Lutz stays in the game, but falls behind to the leadoff batter of the 5th. This is low and inside, 2 balls, no strikes. The reason we're surprised, gave up the 2-run home run, hit the next 3 batters, but then got a strikeout. There is action behind him in the pen on the left field side, though.
I would imagine he's got a pretty short leash at this point in the ball game.
Is 2-0. Crushed deep in the air to center field. Vogel going back. Center fielder on his horse just in front of the warning track. Turns around and makes a catch. That thing hung up there in the daytime sky. Charles just missing that one as he drops to 1 for 3 with the flyout.
He hit that ball into the deepest part of the ballpark at the 400 mark. Got a good break on the ball out there with Vogel for the first out of the inning, but good to see that the hitting is picking up for Ryland Charles because the ball's coming off his bat pretty solid right now.
1 out, nobody on for half, 2 squares to bunt. Pulls it back on a fastball high. Yeah, the thing with Ryland is that he has always, even when he has not been hitting as well as he'd like to, he's always made hard contact.
Oh, absolutely. He's a contact hitter. He does possess some power, but his role is to get that ball into the gaps.
J.P. Heft, your prototypical number 2 hitter as well, takes a strike here to even the count, talking with Coach Higgins yesterday about Heft and just how his skill set lends him to be the perfect number 2 hitter.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be a guy, he's put 2 in the 4-hole today already.
Durbin shaded in that direction towards first base now as this pitch back to the backstop for ball 2.
And we'll see what kind of adjustment Heft makes right now because he can't take the ball opposite field like he's done his first 2 at-bats, but there's a big hole up the second base line right behind the pitcher. There's a big gap there.
Big gap in left center as well. So he takes a perfectly placed fastball over the outside for strike 2. Count goes even. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Rebels. Nothing on 2 base hits for the Bradley Braves. They out-hit the Rebels yesterday 11-10, but fell 9-3.
Saw the multi-base hits.
This one's hit on the ground right to the second baseman Durbin, who gloves it at the belt, turns and fires it to first base for out number 2. As one second baseman grounds out to another. That's all J.P. Heft has done today, hit it in that direction.
Correct. He's hit 3 balls exactly in the same spot, but Durbin was shaded towards the first base side, just knowing that the possibility that ball is coming back to him again. So makes a good play, good adjustment. That's a coaching adjustment also.
2 up and 2 down. Nobody on ahead of Parker Schmidt. Swings to the first pitch. It's a hard ground ball up the middle and through past the diving shortstop Harris and into center field where it's picked up by Ryan Vogel. Schmidt with his first hit of the day, his 6th of the year in 10 at-bats. Good piece of hitting there, jumping all over the first fastball he saw.
Yeah, that's a great piece of hitting. He's been sitting on that fastball. Went deep in the count his first 2 at-bats, but right there he jumped all over that one. Be interesting to see what Cade Higgins does here too, because if he's looking first pitch fastball, there's a chance for him to drive one deep.
Short lead for Parker Schmidt off the base. Higgins does get the fastball, but it's in the dirt off the foot of the umpire and back to the backstop. Taking an aggressive turn around second is Parker Schmidt, but he'll be content with the 90-foot advancement on a wild pitch. Buried in the dirt from Travis Lutz, who's approaching the end of the line, you would assume. Came into this inning having thrown 55 pitches. He's had Braden Marks warming up in the pen for almost a full inning behind him. This, you would assume, might be it for Lutz.
Good first 4 innings for him, though. He just got a little wild in the bottom of the 4th there.
Right-hander deals. Higgins lifts one through the right side of the infield, into right for a base hit. Rounding third and heading to the plate is Schmidt. He'll score without a throw as it's into second base. An RBI single for Cade Higgins, his 3rd run batted in of the year. And the Rebels extend the lead to 3-0 here in the 5th.
Yeah, and again, that wild pitch that Lutz threw allowed Schmidt to advance to second base, and then the hard hit single into right field allows him to score. So kind of fundamental baseball. We're going to get a pitching change as head coach Dominguez comes out of the dugout right now. So we'll try to get what the pitching change looks like for you here. as there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th with the Rebels leading 3-0.
UNLV able to bounce the starterlets from the game as the 6'6" righty Braden Marks jogs to the mound. We'll let him get warmed up. We'll step aside. And it'll be Austin Krizik batting with Higgins on first after an RBI single and 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 5. UNLV leads it 3-0. It's the big right-hander, Braden Marks, 6'6" sophomore out of Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Takes over for Travis Lutz. Marks into a 3-0 game. Homestanding Hustlin' Rebels leading after an Austin Krizik 2-run bomb in the 4th. And a Cade Higgins RBI base hit here in the home half of the 5th. Higgins off first with 2 down.
At the plate, number 47,
As Austin Krizik himself stands in. And Braden Marks already making his 3rd outing of the year. In 2 innings over those 3 outings, he's given up 3 runs, 2 earned on 4 hits. And he's up against Krizik with 2 down here in the bottom of inning number 5. 1 strikeout, no walks in those 2 innings for Marks. Big right-hander, gives up a high fly ball on the right field line. In comes the right fielder Johnson. Out goes the second baseman Durbin. He drifts into foul ground, and it'll be Durbin coming in from his infield position to make the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out, the final out of the bottom of inning number 5. The Rebels do strike for 1 run on 2 hits. No errors and a man left on through 5 full. It's UNLV 3, Bradley nothing. On a beautiful Saturday here on the campus of UNLV. It's the top of the 6th, and the home crowd happy with a 3-0 lead for UNLV over Bradley. Top of the lineup to get it going, Ryan Vogel, followed by Tyrese Johnson and Timmy O'Brien for the visitors. As Albert Robles, through 5 innings so far, has dealt 65 pitches, giving up just 2 hits, and has struck out 4, no walks included.
He's been in control the whole way. Getting ahead in the count against these Bradley hitters has been key to keeping people from scoring position.
First pitch swinging is Ryan Vogel, hits one to straightaway center field. Back goes Charles, still on the move. He makes the catch on a full sprint before softly bouncing into the center field fence. One center fielder flies out to another. Stellar play on a great first step from Rylan Charles.
Yeah, that ball off the bat of Vogel right there got out of here quick. Ryland, because he's pretty speedy and rangy out there in center field, generally plays relatively shallow,
Yeah.
but is able to. We've seen him make that number of catches over the years over his shoulder.
First pitch fastball just low to Tyrese Johnson. Robles at 67 pitches now through 5 in the 3rd innings. He's been pretty efficient, and after 6 innings and a start from Cates yesterday, Rebels looking to go back-to-back with 6-inning outings. Foul ball and a check swing. Flies over the fence straight back, and it's 1-1.
You talked about the crowd. Good Saturday crowd here for the Rebels. A number of Little Leaguers sitting down the right field line there, and UNLV is doing a really good job of trying to get young people to games.
Ground ball chopped to 3rd. Picked up by Ditmar on the first hop. Long throw casually in time to first base. Great arm from Ditmar for out number 2.
And then tonight we have a home game for the Runnin' Rebels against number 22 ranked Colorado State. Talk about the promotion that's going on tonight for kids.
Yeah, kids night. They're coming in to see a hot UNLV team as well. Winners of 6 of their last 7. Playing some of their best basketball of the year under Kevin Kruger. 2 outs, nobody on here for Timmy O'Brien, who swings and misses. First pitch breaking ball in. The nerd fooled him. Yeah, Kids Day today, presented by our friends at Valley Bank of Nevada. First 1,000 kids in the Thomas and Mack Center get free UNLV sticker. There was special prices for tickets. They're going to try to pack the house here towards the end of the year. Mountain West is competitive and tight at the top as it has ever been historically on the hardwood.
There's 7 teams within 2 games of first place. It's been a great year for Mountain West basketball, and one of the challenges is everybody keeps beating up on each other.
1-1. Grounded left side. Picked up by Myro. Shortstop sets the feet and fires to first. Another 1-2-3 inning for Albert Robles. It's his 3rd in a row and 4th overall through 6 innings. By far his best start over the last 2 calendar years. He's through 6 full. We're through 5.5. It's the Rebels on top of the Braves, 3-0. As we enter into the bottom of the 6th inning with UNLV leading at 3-0, want to remind you that Rebel Baseball brought to you by Desert Radiology, premier radiology practice in Nevada, providing the highest quality of medical diagnostic and interventional imaging for over 50 years. Radiology provider and partner of the Valley Health Systems, UMC, and Southwest Medical Associates. Along with Dan Dolby, Matt Everett here from Earl E. Wilson Stadium. Myro, Pimentel, Ditmar, first 3 Rebel batters up against Braden Marks, remaining in the game after getting the final out of the 5th on 1 pitch. Stranding Kate Higgins on first after his RBI single extended the lead to 3. Paul Myro, the 4th, 0 for 1 today. Ground out to short and was hit by a pitch. Takes a first pitch strike from Marks, who got a first pitch pop-up in foul ground off the bat of Austin Krizik. Long way to go for the second baseman Durbin, but as he's shown us all weekend, Dan, he is more than up to the task defensively.
Yeah, I like his game.
Myro behind 0-1, 6'6" righty Braden Marks.
Quite the presence on the mound out there.
Yeah.
You got a 12-inch rise on the mound. He's throwing down at some of these batters, especially somebody with Myro's height. Ball looks like it's coming down at you.
6'6" versus 5'9", as the 5'9" Paul Myro takes a slider. Strike 1, count goes even.
Yeah, he's got a little bit, you wouldn't call it violent pitch motion, but a little herky-jerky, but those big guys can get away with that.
Myro Gets one out of plate on the right field side. It's especially tough for the big guys to repeat a delivery because there's just so many moving levers, as they say in the
Correct.
delivery. And,
Yep.
you know, the smaller you are, the less distance that your, limbs and the ball itself has to go.
Correct. Big guy like him, though, he's been pretty balanced out on the mound.
If you can get on top of it coming down as a big guy, that's dangerous. Marks set on 1-2. He deals. It's way upstairs. That one he did not get on top of.
He did not. That was not a 12 o'clock arm motion right there. That came from almost 9 to 10 right there. Came across his body a little bit.
Marks making his third outing of the year. Pitched in the first and third games last weekend for the Braves. Meyer hits it off the hands in the air to shallow right field. Heading towards the line is Tyrese Johnson in fair ground. He makes the catch on the move for out number 1. 2 up and 2 away over 2 separate innings for Braden Marks, B-R-A-Y-D-E-N. Myro flies out. He's 0 for 2. Here's Alex Pimentel, who's 0 for 1. Plenty of games going on as we are into the full swing of college baseball. And I don't know about you, Dan. College baseball never really has, gotten a ton of media coverage nationwide outside of certain outlets. I'm seeing more and more coverage of college baseball year to year.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And if you look at the pundits, that pitch is low to Pimentel. The 8, what you would call the premier prognosticators, have all picked 8 different teams for the first time in a long time that I've ever seen. So I think there's a lot of parity in college baseball right now.
Pimentel takes a slider, elevated but in the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike to Alex Pimentel. We're seeing a lot more just coverage, just in passing too. People like us, we go out and find it.
Correct.
But I'm seeing, just scrolling social media, clips that I would have never seen before from, East Tennessee State, some random schools that I've got no association with. Pimentel leans away from a fastball, but it's in for a strike.
Some of the Mountain West action today. Air Force has beaten Navy, so that's the second win in a row amongst the academies there. And the Air Force put up 10 to Navy 0.
They love that one. Overall else. Here's the 1-2 from Marks. That's high. 2 balls, 2 strikes to number 2-2, Alex Pimentel.
New Mexico outlasts South Dakota State 9 to 8. Bottom of the 4th, Nevada leads University of San Francisco 4-0.
It's the second day in a row that New Mexico has had a 1-run win over South Dakota State, if I'm not wrong.
No, you're not.
Pimentel rolls one over to third. Chopper that goes under the glove of Chatterton. Rounding first, heading to second as no one's there in left field to pick it up is Pimentel. He slides in safely at second. That's a 2-base error from Jackson Chatterton. That's one where he tried to sit back at the last moment and get that big hop, and it stayed down underneath the glove.
It absolutely is, but I actually will chalk that one up to Earl E. Wilson Stadium in the field out here. There are some points in the infield and just behind the dirt in the infield that are tough. And if you don't play a lot of ball out here, you're going to take some funky little bounces and rolls. And that one ate Chatterton up a little bit.
Chase Ditmar batting with a runner on second and 1 out. Rebels lead it 3-0. Ditmar taking all the way on a slider high. Another thing on that one is that the first 2 bounces off the chopper on the grass and the last bounce before it snuck under the glove of Chatterton hit that infield dirt and just stayed down.
Yeah, it looked like it almost caught the collar, kind of like a chip shot around a green.
Front door slider stays high, 2-0. Yeah, you would know a thing or two, especially about the courses out here, about the
golf is
collar.
Golf is one of my passions. Not very good at it, but love to play.
Out of the stretch, Marks off the glove of the catcher Delgado. Advancing to third is Pimentel. That one a pass ball.
That's a pass ball there. That's actually, they might have got crossed up a little bit.
That's what it looked like.
But that ball should have been fielded, and then Delgado wasn't able to pick it up cleanly, and Pimentel easily gets into third base. So now runner in scoring position at third. Good opportunity to get that 4th run on the board for the Rebels.
A 2-base error and a pass ball moving Pimentel 90 feet away from scoring in a rather unconventional way. And now the infield drawn in as Ditmar had 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Watching all the way and a called strike. He didn't think so, but still in a good spot at 3-1.
Yeah, we talked about the field here at Earl E. Wilson Stadium. We'll be going through a complete renovation and going to all turf next year.
That'll be big, especially as we get into the hotter times of year. A lot of the events that they do here other times of the year, PBR, I know big tenants almost, if you will, as Ditmar takes a walk. Runners on the corners with one down for Gallegos, 3-0 with one out in the bottom of the 6th.
It's been a big emphasis for our AD, Eric Harper, on facility upgrades. This is one both softball and baseball will be going to a turf field next year. Difference is softball will keep a dirt infield. And the beauty is this one of our partners out here, the Southern Nevada Water Authority, is going to be giving us a subsidy to help us take out grass, save on the water costs over the years, and then help pay for the turf project. So thank you to the SNWA and their program for conservation. Not only does it save on the water costs, it saves on the maintenance costs too.
Yeah.
You can go from you see the crew that has to come out and get the field ready for a game. You're talking 8, 9, 10 people. You actually can go down to 2 or 3 to take care of a turf field.
Just somebody to, maintain the mound, make sure everything else is good to go from an ops perspective. Yeah, no, a great partnership, and we're seeing obviously more and more turf citywide, valley-wide. I think one of the things that I like to tell people that don't know Vegas, that aren't from Vegas, is that we actually have, as the city has exploded in population, we use less water than 20 years ago.
Correct.
Because of all the efforts that have been taken for conservation and leak prevention. That's another one of the big tenets of SNWA.
The other thing is the outfield wall will be replaced, go to a fully padded outfield wall. So we're going to keep the same dimensions, but it will be a massive upgrade for early Wilson Stadium.
Runners on the corners with one out for Gallegos. Middle infield double play depth as Chase swings at the first pitch, pops it straight back. Foul ball finds the seats for strike one.
Thing I noticed a little bit last night about Chase and that at bat right there, he's a little antsy. He was really relaxed in the Bay Area 4 games that we played last week. Seems to be just a little bit anxious at the plate right now.
He's got Ditmar off first, Pimentel off third, trying to extend this 3-0 lead. Mark steals from the stretch. Gallegos pops it up, first base side and foul ground. O'Brien runs out of room as the first baseman watches it bounce into the concourse. Gallegos behind 0-2, and when I was down on the field talking to Kevin Higgins during batting practice, we're having our conversation. Gallegos is hitting, I think, once, at least twice, 2 to 3 times. He said, hey, slow it down, stay in back.
Yep.
So exactly what you had just echoed.
Yeah, and this is an opportunity for to get that 4th run on the board for the Rebels. He's got to stay out of the double play ball.
That one way high. Delgado leaping up out of the squat to keep it in front.
I actually asked Coach Higgins about that bunt opportunity that Gallegos used last night. And he said, Gallegos was a little jumpy at the plate, so he was just trying to get something down because he doesn't run excessively well and tried to stay out of the double play.
Here's the 1-2 from Marks. Swung on, grounded up the middle, backhanded by the second baseman Durbin. The underhand flip is in time. Harris, the shortstop, coming across for the throw. 4-6-3 double play ends the inning, ends the threat. In the bottom of the 6th for UNLV, no runs on no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on. On to the 7th we go. It's the Rebels 3, the Braves 0. We're on to the 7th in a 3-0 game. UNLV leading Bradley, looking for their 2nd win in a row in the series, and their 5th overall. And look who's out on the mound. Albert Robles, back out for a 7th inning of work. Already the longest outing of his collegiate career, and he starts out the 7th inning with a bouncing ball in the dirt for ball 1 to Logan Delgado. Middle third of the lineup, 2 up for Bradley. Michael Mylott and Jackson Chatterton to follow. Robles setting and dealing on his 74th pitch of the game. That's a changeup that fades high. 2-0 count as he falls behind. Espada has not been in a ton why he's been able to stay in the game this long.
Yeah, you brought that up when we were off air talking about this is the longest outing of his career.
Falls behind 3-0 here for the first time.
First time.
So the fatigue potentially starting to set in. He threw a career best 3 2/3 innings in his freshman year at Riverside City College last year. Trying to come all the way back here. He's got 3 runs of a cushion to do so.
There is some activity in the Rebel bullpen. Looks like a righty and a lefty up there.
The last 3-0 pitch was right down Broadway. Still in a good hitter's count is Delgado, who's 1 for 2 today. Puts a good charge into this one to left center, but over to cut it off and make the catch is Rylan Charles. Part of the positioning that you had mentioned, he is more shallow than others. So that one that did have a little bit of topspin really didn't fade him at all.
Yeah, I was actually kidding around with Rylan. He does have a lot of range out there. He seems to be faster in the field than he is on the base path. And he actually admitted that to me as much. He says, I'd like to be faster. I said, well, the one advantage you have is coming out of the box from the left side, so you got that extra step. But he says, I just wish I was a little faster.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Mason Breidenbach doing the pinch hitting. 2nd straight day that he's gotten an at-bat off the bench. Moves ahead 1 ball, no strikes. Breidenbach, the 6'2", 195-pound sophomore out of Chesterfield, Missouri. Pinch hitting for the DH, Michael Mylott. Count even at 1. Mylott finishes the day 0 for 2. He reached on an error and struck out swinging in the 4th. Breidenbach came in last night, led off the top of the 9th inning with a fly ball out to straightaway center field. Comes up empty on a hack. A changeup pulled the string on him.
Good pitch, worked away from the left-handed hitter.
And that is a weapon for any righty against a lefty. See what Robles goes back to here on 1 and 2. It's that changeup. It's another swing and a miss. This time for strike 3. Breidenbach 0 for 2 in the series, both in pinch hit at bats. And for Albert Robles, dealing today. He's through 6 2/3. He struck out 5. That's to no walks. He's only given up 2 base hits.
You know, falling up behind previous batter 3-0, worked back, gets the K there. That's exactly what Corey Vanderhook, the pitching coach, wants to see.
Switch hitting Jackson Chatterton in from the left, takes a strike. And for Robles, it's been about a response. When Tyrese Johnson singled in the 3rd, he followed it up to this point, 13 straight putouts. This is in the dirt here to even the count. If he retires Chatterton, it would be his 14th straight batter retired and his 4th straight 1-2-3 inning. Want to talk about getting better as you go along. Takes the sign from Gallegos, who sets up away. 1-1 pitch, popped up, foul and out of play beyond the third base bleacher seats. Now Robles 1 strike away from going through 7 full. He had not been through 4 full yet in his collegiate career prior to today. 13 outings, just 2 starts last year. This his 2nd start of the year. Right-hander deals. It's popped up. That'll clear the seats again down the third base side for a foul ball. Count remains 1 and 2. 3 runs, 6 hits for UNLV. Nothing on 2 base hits against Robles. For the Braves, each side has committed 1 error. Here comes Robles to the plate again on 1 and 2. It's in the dirt. A waste pitch that Chatterton, who's 0 for 2 today, didn't bite on.
Yeah, I like his approach against the left-handed hitter, Bradley Braves. Does a really good job of working in and then throwing that changeup on the outside. And let's see what he comes back with here.
Lifts the hands over the head and deals. Inside. Breaking pitch that backs Chatterton away. If he were to reach, Bo Durbin awaits on deck. Tying run in the hole at Cole Lucky. Rebels in the bottom of the 7th will send the top of their lineup up. So this out here crucial to give them a good chance to extend the lead. Here we go, the 2-2. Chop down the first base side. It's foul. Austin Krizik fields it in front of the first base coaching box.
Getting a little balmy out here. Cloud cover. Beautiful day, though.
No wind to speak of.
No short sleeves in the stands.
3-2 pitch upstairs for ball 4. So not only is it the first base on balls issued by Albert Robles of the afternoon, It's the first batter to reach in
Next up,
14
number
hitters.
5, Bo Durbin.
Second time that Chatterton has reached without a hit. Did so on a fielder's choice earlier on a bunt attempt. He reaches here with 2 outs in the 7th. Brings up Bo Durbin in a 3-0 game. Trying to extend the inning. Left-handed batting second baseman who's 0 for 2. A couple of flyouts on the docket. Lifts the hands over a heater in on the chest. And for Robles, you wonder how short the leash is. He's in uncharted waters here. You would assume one more out and he's out of here. The question is one more base runner the dividing line?
I think you're right on both count.
Chatterton off first. Foul ball back off the mask of Chase Gallegos. Moves the count to 1-1. Durbin popped out to center in the 2nd. Flied out to left in the 5th. But has been outstanding with the glove today. Right fielder Higgins taking a couple of steps back. Krizik holding on at first. Myro shaded a couple of steps up the middle at short. Out of the stretch. Here's the 1-1 from Robles. Just off the outside. A purpose pitch there, but called for ball 2.
And that was the first walk for Robles, right?
Yep.
Yeah. After Rebels not giving up a walk last night.
Yeah, that's the first walk of the year here at the Earl. That comes after Robles walked 5 in 2+ innings in his only other outing. Falling behind Durbin here 2-1. Look to first. The pitch to the plate's fouled straight back. The count even at 2. Robles has battled.
Yeah.
Just 2 3-ball counts all day, and he's come from behind in both of them.
Where he's missed against the lefties is inside on that breaking ball. Gone both away from the last 2 left-handed hitters, so I'd like to see him do that again here.
Count even at 2. As Robles fires, the runner goes. The pitch outside for a ball. Gallegos down to second. It's off the glove of the shortstop Myro and into shallow center field. Deep enough away for Chatterton to reach. So a stolen base brings him to second. And a throwing error by Gallegos that Myro had to come off the bag for moves him to third.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Gallegos was anticipating a runner
Not at
moving
all.
right there. He was a little slow to come up out of his stance. Made a bad throw, the second base side of the bag. Ball gets away. Now we have runner at third.
And a full count. Here's the pitch to Durbin. It's hit in the air deep to left field. Shaded shallow was Pimentel. Still on the move. He can't get it. It's over his head into the fence. Scoring easily is Chatterton. And into second base with an RBI double. His second extra base hit of the year is Bo Durbin, and Bradley on the board in the 7th. UNLV still leads, but the Braves taking a bite. It's now 3-1.
Yeah, is why that double play
At the plate, number
against
29,
Gallegos
Bo Lucky.
previous inning was such a big thing to keep the lead down to 3, but now with the double run scoring 3-1 game, we're going to get a mound visit by Coach Stolte. It looks like he's going to make a change.
He's going to make to the pen after an unearned run. Puts Bradley on the board for the first time. Stan Stolte's going to go to his pen, so our intuition was right there. Next batter was going to bounce Robles from the game regardless.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a quality outing for Robles. Went really deep. You know, we talked about how deep he went and longest outing of his career. So we're going to get a new pitcher here. We'll get you some numbers on the insert. But, you know, Robles only given up one walk, 4 hits. This is a quality start. Exactly what the Rebels need on these Saturday games.
Here's Matt Maloney out of the bullpen. Step aside as he gets loose. 3-1 game with the tying run coming to the plate here in the top of the 7th inning. with 2 outs and a runner on second base here pre-stretch break in the 7th inning. UNLV's lead shortened to 3-1. They'll turn to Matthew Maloney out of the bullpen to try and keep the game where it is. With Durbin on second, Cole Luckey will be the first batter that Maloney faces, the senior from Huntington Beach. Spent his last couple of years at New Mexico State. He'll try and keep the Braves off the board and strand a runner on. Albert Robles through 6 2/3 as Maloney, the overhand right-hand delivery, misses low to Cole Luckey, the right-handed batting left fielder, who's 0 for 2.
Maloney really only a 2-pitch arsenal with that fastball and cutter.
Count goes to 1-1 as a slider right down the middle for a called strike. 6 feet tall, 225 pounds. We talked yesterday about a couple of guys that are well put together. Maloney, a former catcher, no exception.
Yeah, he fills the uniform well.
Throws hard. Throws an off-speed pitch there. And it, excuse me, offering by Cole Luckey for strike 2. Brings the count of ball and 2 strikes.
One of the more cerebral rebels, too. We were on the trip last week. He was doing crosswords and Sudoku. I think that's how you pronounce it. So
we got to ask him.
He's a thinker.
As he gets a foul ball knocked straight back. Count stays 1-2. Sometimes different coaches have different philosophies on pitchers that are academics.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't want you to think. You're like a defensive player on the gridiron.
Yeah, real quiet. He was on the bus, and he was just doing his thing while there's a lot of chatter going on.
He's ahead of ball and 2 strikes. Got the hands together as he delivers. That breaking ball blocked by Gallegos. Maloney about 92, up to 90-92 on the fastball. And hard thrower. He's got good off-speed stuff, but he throws that pretty hard as well. He doesn't throw much soft.
He does. That slider is 87.
He's got the count even at 2-2. The pitch popped up off the hands, shallow to right field. Back goes Krizik. In comes Higgins. Kriz in foul ground, makes the catch on the move. That's the outfielder in him, tracking that one down and stranding a runner on. But in the top of the 7th, Bradley on the board for the first time. Run charge to Albert Robles is earned. Run scoring on no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on. It's the stretch break here at the Earl. Back with the bottom of the 7th in a 3-1 game. As we work through our camera issues into the bottom of the 7th inning, beg your pardon, and thank those of you sticking with us. Along with Dan Dolby, I'm Matt Neverett, bottom of the 7th. A 3-1 lead for the Hustlin' Rebels as the top of the lineup gets it going. Ryland Charles, followed by J.P. Heft and Parker Schmidt. And batting center fielder Charles up against Braden Marks, pitching in his 3rd individual inning of work. First pitch fastball, high and outside for ball 1. Charles today, 1 for 3, doubled. It was thrown out on the base pass in the 3rd. He struck out and flied out surrounding it. He's ahead 1-0 here, looking to extend the lead with action in the Bradley bullpen. Ryland takes a fastball for a strike, so a first pitch fastball high, followed by a slider in the zone, count even at 1.
We're back up and running with our video, so appreciate the patience on that. We love bringing the games to the streaming on the YouTube channel. For all the relatives out there, the aunts and uncles.
Charles hits this one high in the air to left field. Lazily drifting back is the left fielder Luckey underneath it and gloving it for out number 1. Charles pops out for the 2nd straight at bat. Brings up J.P. Heft with 1 out, nobody on. Great to get back involved. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a busy time of the year for UNLV, but there's just something special about coming to games out here.
You know, we got baseball tomorrow. We got the game tonight, baseball tomorrow. I'm leaving with the basketball team on Monday to go to Laramie for a Tuesday night game. Come back for weekend next week. We'll talk a little bit about the matchup conference against San Jose State.
Aft takes a heater at the letters for strike one. JP, 2 for 3 today after going 1 for 4 with a pair of RBIs on a triple yesterday. Anthony Pothoff warming up for Bradley in the bullpen, the lefty wearing number 32. Right-handed batting Heft takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That should be a good matchup tonight. Colorado State comes to Thomas and Mack Center. Rebels looking for vengeance. They led almost all the way up in Moby Arena in Fort Collins in the earlier game before Isaiah Stevens took over, and the Rams won in overtime. Heft takes a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count.
We talk about San Jose State coming in for Mountain West Conference play next weekend. You know, San Jose is off to a slow start. They were picked to be finishing the top 2 of the Mountain West Conference. They're 0-5 and down 2-1 against the University of Seattle in the top of the 4th.
Spartans, a program on the rise nationally. There's this pitch inside and hits Heft on the elbow. 4th hit batter for the Rebels this afternoon, but it's the first outside of that 3-batter stretch in the 4th inning.
Now that's the kind of thing that will drive a pitching coach wild. 1-2 count, you can't get inside like that, throw a breaking ball that doesn't have any movement on it. Just barely caught Heft, but enough to get him down to first base on the free pass.
He's now reached in 3 of his 4 plate appearances. 0 for 1 in steals this year. He was 8 for 9 over 2 years at Saddleback College, so it does move a little bit. Parker Schmidt will look to at least advance him with 1 out. He squares to bunt, pulls it back on a pitch way outside. Good job by Delgado behind home plate to slide over there. A couple of arms now up for Bradley. Mentioned Anthony Pothoff, the lefty, warming up. Second time in a couple of days, Dan, that we've seen some double barrel action from this Bradley pen as Schmidt takes up for a strike.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they go lefty or righty, if they end up replacing Marks.
Looks like a pair of lefties getting going.
Oh, both of them lefty, okay.
Pothoff and Tate Rowley wearing 35.
Rebels have a really good track record against lefties.
Schmidt thought about a swing, smartly held up, and the count goes 2-1. I mentioned it yesterday, but just by happenstance, wasn't it really a priority for this coaching staff in the recruiting game? Just 3, I should say, left.
2.5.
2.5. Right, Rylan Charles that half. He will throw plenty this year.
He will.
As the runner breaks from first, a hit and run is on. Schmidt grinds it to center field. It's down. Rounding second. Zooming to third is Heft as the throw is cut off by the shortstop, Harris. Talk about a hit and run with 1 out. Heft goes first to third. Schmidt with his 2nd hit in a row.
I was about to say that because that's a situation right there where Coach Higgins has a tendency to hit and run with that 2-1 count with a contact hitter like Schmidt at the plate. Great piece of base running by Heft. He saw that ball was going to be down and made the turn. Ball not hit real deep, but center fielder Vogel wasn't able to come up fast enough to get any type of play at third.
And now with the left-handed batter and Kate Higgins standing in, Bradley's going to leave the right-hander Braden Marks in to face him. Runners in the corners, 1 out. UNLV trying to extend their 3-1 lead. Corner infielders drawn in as Higgins rips a foul ball, pulling it down the first base side. Bounces off the netting, and that'll be up to a member of the bullpen to head out and grab it. He's got Heft on third, Schmidt on first. Higgins with an RBI base hit in the 5th. He walked and scored prior to that in the 4th.
This is the guy you want up in this situation.
Rounded out to second to start his afternoon at the plate. Runner goes from first. The pitch, a called strike. The throw is to the third base side of the bag and not in time. Schmidt steals second. And Heft watching, but with Easton Harris popping off the base after receiving that throw. No chance for the Little League double steal, as they call it. But instead, that sets up runners on second and third with 1 out. That'll also draw the infield in, open up some gaps for Higgins if he puts good wood on it.
Love the aggressiveness. Now the double play is not in play. They're going to give Higgy a free pass down to first, which is probably pretty good strategy at this point in the ball game.
Now batting number 47.
The intentional walk will load the bases with 1 out.
The problem is you got to pick your poison, right?
Yeah, that's a tough decision to make.
The only thing that I could say is they didn't want to face the left-handed hitting Higgins, but now you're bringing up Krizik, who is one of the hottest hitters in college baseball on the West Coast here.
And you can't bring in the lefty to face him. He kills left-handed pitching.
He does.
So They're going to trust Braden Marks to go after Austin Krizik. Corner infielders in, middle infield at double play depth. Krizik watching on a first pitch fastball, elevated for strike one. 2-run home run over the fence in left center in the 4th inning. Got the Rebels on the board. Just one tally for UNLV since a 3-1 game. Heft off third, Schmidt off second, Higgins off first after the intentional walk. He's got a big lead. Here's the 0-1 from Braden Marks.
Oof.
Leaning away from it is Krizik, and he's got the count even.
This is a situation right here where you're going to see Krizik try to elevate something to the right side of the field. Isn't a guy that's going to roll over very often at the plate, so try to stay out of that double play. Get another security run for the Rebs.
Deep and right is Tyrese Johnson. 1-1 pitch outside, ball 2. Way off the line and left is Lucky as well. They're playing him to go the other way, which if he gets his arms extended, he's very capable and better than most at doing.
3-0 count. You would expect him to just sit still on this one. 2-1 count, I'm sorry.
Higgins takes high, rather Krizik takes high. Get some dirt on those bare hands before the 3-1. This is exactly what you want. Perfect hitter in a perfect RBI spot with a perfect hitter's count. See what he can do with it here. Marks set at the belt. Glances at first. He deals on 3-1. Krizik lines it back, and the count goes full with 2 down.
That's the pitch that he wanted. He knew that fastball was coming.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Rebels desperately looking to blow this game wide open.
Gives Marks going full here. Gives him an opportunity to have a couple different pitches. Doesn't have to go to that fastball.
Here's the 3-2 payoff pitch to Austin Krizik. Swung on, grounded up the middle. Shortstop Harris has it. Makes the underhand flip to Durbin. Second baseman's throw to first. Pulls the first baseman off the bag. O'Brien couldn't hold the base. Heft scores from third, and the Rebels on top 4-1 after a fielder's choice.
Yeah, we talked about Krizik not rolling over or anything, but he absolutely did. Good pitch by Marks there. Should have been a double play for the Braves to get out of this inning, but extends it. Gives the Rebels that extra run right there to extend back to 3. You got Paul Myro coming up. Chance to blow this thing open a little bit.
Myro now with runners on the corners, but 2 down. Higgins retired 6-4 up the middle. Krizik, if he would have hit that harder, would have been tailor-made. The fact that it was bounding and a little bit slower allowed him to reach. O'Brien couldn't hold the base as Marks misses way high for ball 1 to Paul Myro, who's 0 for 2. Off of third is Schmidt. A single, a swipe of second, and a 90-foot advancement on that fielder's choice put him there. 4-1 the score. 1-0 the count with 2 down. Long look from Marks as he deals. Myro grounds it to the backhand side of the shortstop Harris. He goes the short way to the second baseman Durbin standing on the bag. Myro on a fielder's choice ends the inning, but UNLV extends the lead. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base through 7 full. It's UNLV 4, Bradley 1. Matthew Maloney back out for another inning of work atop the mound. Heading into the top of inning number 8. He does so with another run of support as UNLV leads Bradley 4-1. Second game of 3 between the Mountain West and Missouri Valley opponents. 9-1-2 due up for Bradley. Just 6 outs left to give, and See how many of those Stan Stolte and company want to get from Matt Maloney. Harris, followed by the leadoff man Vogel, then Tyrese Johnson. Maloney got Cole Lucky to pop out to Krizik at first, only batter he faced. Stranding a runner on in the 7th. He misses up and away to Easton Harris, and the hard thrower from Huntington Beach falls behind. Left side of the infield, a bit deeper than normal, as Maloney gets a foul ball straight back to even the count.
I don't think that they're counting on Maloney to be a spot guy this year. They're going to try to get this. I would expect them to actually keep him in if he can keep things rolling and finish this one out.
He got through 2 innings full in his only other outing of the year 6 days ago last Sunday. That was at Pacific. Fires that one in for a strike, and ahead 1-2 to Easton Harris, the number 9 batter, the shortstop, who's 0 for 2. Either started or ended every inning in which he's come to bat. Started the 3rd with the ground out, ended the 5th with a flyout. Curveball hit in the air down the left field side, but it's foul. Well, early on that was Harris.
He was sitting on, Harris was sitting on the curveball there. Just got out in front of it. I think Maloney took a little bit off that curveball there.
Maloney got the win last Sunday against Pacific. He deals here on 1-2. It's lifted, shallow center field. Guarding the eyes from the sun is Rylan Charles as he makes the catch on a loop hit fly ball. Straightaway center off the bat of Harris, who drops to 0 for 3. Ryan Vogel will have his 4th trip to the dish. So far so good for Maloney, but final numbers for Albert Ruiz. 1 run earned on 3 hits over 6 2/3 innings. 3 innings full, longer than his previous collegiate long.
I'll tell you what, you have a quality outing like Cates had last night, and then you follow that up with Robles, and hopefully Maloney be able to close it out here. That's all you can ask for from your Friday, Saturday guys.
Foul ball out of play off the bat of Ryan Vogel.
But again, that goes back to the depth we've been talking about, right, that the Rebels have. There's guys we haven't even seen yet. You got Sam Simon, who had a great outing last weekend. Now you got Hanson, who hasn't really pitched a lot lately because of injury. You know, he's a horse.
Pitch outside. I'm trying to go back mentally. In the opening day game, did the Rebels have a pitcher get to 6 innings? Did Cates go 6 on opening day or 5?
He went. I would have to go back and look.
I can double check because there's a reason I'm asking. As this one's popped up, shallow to right field. Higgins underneath it towards the line and fair ground. He makes the catch. 2 up and 2 away from Maloney in the 8th. 3 up and 3 away for him, I should say, overall. Because if Cates, which I'm checking on now, did go 6, the Rebels have had a pitcher go 6 or more innings in every game this year.
That would be correct, yeah. And we haven't seen that from Rebel pitching staff. And he did go 6.
He went 5, rather, against Pacific.
Oh, he went 5, okay.
So, they've had a guy go 5 every game. Still not bad that they've had a pitcher go 6 or more in all but the opening day game. Their only loss of the year.
We haven't seen that in a number of years here.
Oh, great pitching depth already, even just with 3 guys plus Joey Acosta, as Tyrese Johnson takes all the way on 0-1. Count goes even at a ball and a strike. Number 2 hitter in from the right side, 1 for 3 thus far. Hands held low for Johnson. 1 for 3 today. Came into the day hitting .357. Lines one to short. Here comes Myro. He's got it on the move. Just took a couple of steps in. And for the 5th time today, through 8th innings, Rebels send the Braves down in order. A couple of flyouts and a softly hit line drive doing the damage here in the 8th. Zeros across for Bradley in the inning. Bottom third of the Rebel lineup due up next for what they hope is the final time in the bottom of the 8th, leading it 4-1. Bottom of the 8th, 4-1 the lead for UNLV. Alex Pimentel to lead things off against Braden Marks, who came in with 2 outs in the 5th. And it looks like Bradley's going to try to get him through the end of this one. 45 pitches through 2 1/3 innings as Pimentel fouls it off on a bunt. 0-1 the count. Pimmy hitless today. He was hit by a pitch, reached on an error, and grounded out to short.
Yeah, Pimmy's got the green light. He's got good speed for a big guy. Try to get that thing down with the infield deep, move back in now. He's just trying to get something going.
Third baseman Chatterton especially. He swings and misses on a fastball high from Braden Marks, and I'm a bit surprised. Are you to see him back out there when they've been warming up a number of rather pitchers behind him for a couple innings?
The only thing I can think about is if they can hold him here, try to get something going at the bottom of the, or top of the ninth. They still have some arms ready for the Sunday outing too.
As Pimentel, it's a high fly, foul ground on the first base side. Even with the base and foul ground is Timmy O'Brien. Now backs up behind the first base box, and the first baseman in foul ground makes the catch for out number 1. Now 2 2/3 innings for Braden Marks. Comes in behind the starter Travis Lutz, who as of now is on the hook for the loss. Lutz got through 4 2/3 innings, allowing 3 runs on 6 hits, a walk and 3 strikeouts. They've gone with Marks the rest of the way. See if that's the case with 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 8th. This game's certainly not out of reach. Rebels would love another run here to make it a 4-run advantage at least. They'll turn it over to Chase Ditmar with nobody on. Watching all the way on a first pitch slider from Marks. He got away with one there. Tomorrow at 11:05, first pitch here from Early Wilson Stadium. Sam Simon slated to toss for the Rebels. Ditmar takes inside. Count goes even. Simon was excellent. We did some double checking. The second game against Pacific did not feature anybody going 5 innings, so we'll expand it. Every game but one this year has had a pitcher go 5 innings or more, which is great.
Well, that's all you can ask for from a pitching staff.
Especially a starting staff that a little bit of a different identity than they've had in years past as Ditmar takes a strike. It was a lot of innings eaters, not a lot of velocity prior. That is certainly not the case this year.
Yeah, you think about it too, with Robles and Cates coming in, they're newbies to the staff. Sam Simon, obviously a returner, but that's what the transfer portal has really enabled.
Ditmar hits one the other way, picked up on a backhand by the first baseman O'Brien. He'll win the foot race himself. Pair of putouts for O'Brien. Here in the bottom of the 8th alone, a fly ball out in foul ground and a ground ball right to him.
Very good defensive play by O'Brien right there. He short hopped that and didn't let that ball get into his body. So outstanding play by the Braves first baseman.
Chase Gallegos trying to extend the inning and potentially the lead. Just looking at a handful of pitchers for this Rebel team. Guys that could start games. They've got a ton of them. A couple of guys that we have seen this year not in starting roles could potentially. As Gallegos, who's 0 for 3 today, takes a strike. Guys like Noah Carbajal. You got guys like Joey Acosta, who threw 6 1/3 innings in relief.
Yeah, the true freshman, L.J. Mercurius, too, that has a lot of ability.
Jesus Gonzalez, who we saw yesterday, can certainly start as Gallegos fouls it out of plate on the first base side. Jordan Hansen as well. We likely will see him starting a game here soon. So you got plenty of options as far as length with the arms, which, again, not something that they've had a lot of in years past.
Well, that's what happens, though. You bring in 9 quality guys to a staff. It gives you a lot of opportunities and chances.
The 0-2 popped up. Shallow to right field after a brief pause. Right fielder Johnson tracks it down, settles underneath, and makes the catch. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th inning for UNLV. Just their third 1-2-3 frame of the day. They hope it's enough. They lead it in the, or heading into, I should say, the top of the 9th by a 4-1 score. We'll see if they can close it out next. It all comes down to this. Top of the 9th inning. Rebels hoping to hold on to a 4-1 lead for their second straight win over Bradley. Would be their 5th win in a row. They'll keep it with Matthew Maloney on the mound. Timmy O'Brien, the number 3 hitter. First baseman in from the right for Bradley, takes a called ball outside. UNLV down in order in the bottom of the 8th inning. And they're going to try to have Matthew Maloney get him through 7 outs. Came in and got the final out of the 7th. Went 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. He'll hope to do the same in the 9th. O'Brien rolls over a chopped foul ball. Nice grab by the third base coach. I'm telling you, there's a focus on that this year.
He's too inconsistent for me.
Yeah, not a former Major League infielder like the Rebels enjoy in Kevin Higgins. A lot of Major League flair around the program in general. Great recruiting tactic. There's a 1-1 pitch. Chopped foul again. This one in and out of the Bradley dugout.
That's a good pitch by Maloney right there. Keeping that cutter just inside on the hands. Had a little more drop than horizontal right there. So we have a pretty good angle from our press box here. I like his arm slot. I like the way the ball's moving.
Maloney on 1 and 2. Set. Dealing from the stretch. Breaking ball just upstairs. He was trying to drop that one in.
Yeah, that's that tumbler that we were seeing from Robles earlier in the game. Just didn't get the call.
On 2 and 2. You're leading off the 9th. He deals. A line drive hit in the air to center. Back goes Charles. Center fielder stops, flips the hips, and makes the catch at the belt line. A last-second adjustment for Rylan Charles. Maybe not the prettiest catch, but it's an out nonetheless in the scorebook and the all-important first out of the last inning.
Yep. Yeah, but that's a play that we have seen Rylan make for years here in center field for the Rebels. Probably a younger guy would have some coaching coming after that, right? But they're not going to give it to him because he's a veteran, and that's a routine play for him.
Do what you got to do if you're Rylan Charles. As Logan Delgado looks to reach. He takes inside. Bradley trailing by 3. You can't hit that 3-run home run with nobody on base, so they'll need a couple of runners. Haven't had a lot of them, especially due to the dominant performance by Albert Robles, who's in line for the win. Ground ball pulled foul on the first base side. Nonetheless, Krizik gave it an effort. John Bostwick, the crew chief, straddling the line on the first base side, had the best view. Called that one early.
I'm so impressed with Krizik's play at first base for the Rebels defensively. Coming to a new position, he's really made a smooth transition and given the Rebels a good, solid backstop over there.
After a foul ball, Maloney misses high. You can tell the balance, not where he'd like it there, kind of falling backwards.
Yep. Made a little adjustment to the mound, so he might have caught his spike there. Fell forward a little bit.
Ditmar a step or 2 off the line with the left-handed batting Logan Delgado in. He's 1 of 3 on the afternoon.
That's a good pitch.
And there for a called strike at the letters, and Delgado now even at 2. As mentioned, 1 for 3 in the game. 2 for 7 on the series with a home run, 2 RBIs, and a base hit. Myro shaded up the middle. Here's the 2-2 from Maloney. It's hit in the air to center once more. Drifting back towards left center with the wind pushing it is Charles. Makes another one-hand catch on the move, and he makes those look so routine. Gets the Rebels down to their final out. As the DH spot in the lineup, Grayson Breidenbach, who pinch hits, going to stay in for a second plate appearance.
Yeah, Bradley at this point is just looking to get somebody on to get something generated. So you got the lefty matchup here against the right-handed pitching of Maloney.
He misses high. Breidenbach struck out swinging against the starter Robles in his pinch hit at bat. You mentioned base runners, Dan. How about 6 total base runners today so far for Bradley?
Outstanding effort by the Rebel pitching staff.
And none of them against Maloney, who misses up again. Count goes 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, 6 on base. One of them was an error.
Yeah,
so really,
the other a fielder's choice.
Correct.
A walk, 2 singles, and a double the others.
Confident pitch right there. Being down 2-0 in the count, he's coming with the heat. Kept it low and away from the left-handed hitter, Breidenbach.
And they love the cut fastball from Matt Maloney. It's his go-to pitch early in counts. Throws it here on 2-1, but misses just inside.
Just inside.
That's a great purpose pitch from a righty into a lefty. There's not much that most left-handed batters are going to be able to do with that one.
No, you can't get your hands extended.
Tumbling in on the kneecaps. Maloney trying to come from behind. His 3-1 pitch is high for ball 4. So a 5-pitch walk extends the game. It's the 7th total base runner for Bradley. 2 outs and a runner on. Jackson Chatterton needs to reach to extend, but the tying run all of a sudden on deck. Maloney trying to close this one out as we'll get a pinch runner jogging in from the third base dugout. So Breidenbach out. Number 13, Chris Leckrone, the Dunlap, Illinois natives, checks in for him.
This is a situation where Maloney just needs to slow down a little bit, working at a pretty good pace. Keep that heartbeat down. The adrenaline's probably up as he wants to close this one out and not have to go to the bullpen. Stay balanced here. Use your best stuff.
Big lead off first as the first pitch is crushed to right field from Chatterton. Down the line it goes, but it's foul. Had the distance and cleared the fence. He jumped all over that elevated heater.
Yeah, Chatterton was sitting on the fastball there. That ball was right at the knees, middle of the zone. So just missed by Braves there to get 2 more on the board. Maloney's got to come back here with something off speed.
That amounts to nothing but a loud strike one. This is outside to even up the count. I was taking a look at the pinch runner, Leckrone off first. They are not, looking at him at all. That run really means nothing.
No, they're going to play deep, not give up anything.
Leckrone off first, pinch running for Breidenbach. Chatterton pops it up, shallow to right center, dropping back his heft. Second baseman with his feet on the outfield grass has got it, and the Rebels hold on to a win, a 4-1 final, as they now move to 5-1 on the year. It took 2 hours and 7 minutes, ends in the 4-1 final, and for the second day in a row, Dan, pretty good bats, really good pitching for the Hustlin' Rebels.
Yeah, we talked about the poise of the starting pitchers and reliever last night. Today, I think you saw a lot of confidence. When Robles came into the game, he could have been a little shaken coming off kind of a bad start last weekend, but he came in with a lot of confidence. And to your point earlier, he got through a lot of innings, career numbers for him. Then you got Maloney coming in, and he pitched with confidence. He got behind it against a couple of the Bradley Braves, but was able to battle back. So outstanding. You go through 2 games in a college baseball series for the first days, Friday, Saturday, and only use 4 pitchers, you're set up for success.
4-1 win for the Rebels. Albert Robles with his first win of the year takes the victory after going 6 2/3, 1 run on 3 hits and a walk while striking out 5. The loss to Travis Lutz. The Bradley starter gave up 3 runs on 6 hits, over 4 2/3 innings as he drops to 1-1. UNLV in the game, 4 runs on 7 hits, a pair of errors and 8 runners left on. Bradley with a run on 3 hits, just 7 total base runners. They committed an error defensively and stranded 5. Game took 2 hours and 7 minutes as the Rebels win 4-1. Their record goes to 5-1. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Dan Dolby and myself on the call. An 11:05 first pitch. We'll take the air right after the anthem as UNLV looks to complete the sweep, going for win number 6 in a row and on the season. That'll do it for us. For my partner, Dan Dolby, for our SID, Jake Rennie, and everybody else here with UNLV Athletics, this has been Matt and Everett saying thank you for tuning in. Back at it tomorrow, 11:05 first pitch here from Early Wilson.